Welcome to the Weekly Collective. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and this little guy is Apollo. And we're going to take a look at the next 7 days together, plus a really cool special topic. A couple weeks ago, I put out a question to everybody on the community tab and said, what would you like me to talk about? Let's change up the topics. And the way that you guys worded it was being able to identify intuition and separate it from fear. And initially I was wondering, I'm like, that seems kind of odd, but I get it. Sometimes when we're really trying to make a key decision, we might step back and wonder, is it our fear getting in the way? How can you really sort out what to focus on? So as we look at things today, that'll be the main focus in the second portion of today. And because it's been pretty popular, it allows for things to be a little bit more expedient. I'll continue to read in the flow, which is basically me being guided by intuition to ask the questions that I need to ask. So we'll go from there. We're going to begin with channeled messages. They come through dreams and meditation today, primarily through dreams. There were so many coming through this morning that let's get straight into it. Your totem was a cricket, and the cricket is interesting because it has this ability to leap and make a lot of noise, but it's also about how to rein that in. And so we're going to talk about that as soon as I get this up here for you. How's everybody doing? I hope your day's gotten off to a great start, and I hope you're ready to basically get some empowerment and some information in here. So let's begin with the totems and channeled messages for today. Hey, buddy. You're okay. I know. He's like, Dad, I got to check out this bed place and make sure everything's all right. All right, so like I said, the cricket is the main totem, but what I was picking up on in dreams and meditations were emotions could be clouding judgment, and I want to help you with that. Plans are great, but sometimes we have to be able to adjust and basically correct in real time, and I'll try to help you with preparation as well. All right, so let's talk about your totem today from the spirit world here. The cricket, what I do like about it is its ability to leap and move forward pretty quickly, which is why I chose the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords typically in tarot indicates fast action or some immediacy to something that's going on. The song that the cricket creates is actually, I'm not going to try to say the word, but basically it's this friction that's created when the wing rubs against this sort of comb-like structure. And although it can be beautiful, it can also be a little bit grating. And one of the things that this is bringing forth is the ability to sort of know when, the frequency, not just like the sort of like how your voice is sounding, but how often you're speaking, how often you're listening, and also the words with which you're sort of choosing. All of those things are going to be important. So frequency of speech, because otherwise it can it's a little bit goes a long way with the cricket. For anybody that's had it in the house before, you'll be listening and where is it? And then in the middle of the night you hear it. So timing and frequency. What I do like though is with that 3 feet or 91 centimeter leaping ability, it's showing that you can basically make up for lost time and with minimal effort, really make great strides. Okay. So let's move into the next piece here, which is this was the primary thing in dreams that was really kind of getting into my energy and sort of making it difficult to sort of even focus in dreams. So it feels like some of you may be going through a lot emotionally. And what Spirit was trying to impart in dream messages was the following, basically. First of all, I was shown an image of driving while angry. And emotions are a lot like, it can just be like if you're on a substance, right? Drinking or over caffeinated or whatever. You lack this ability to stay focused. And if you're driving while angry, you might miss a stop sign. You might be more aggressive with the pedal. And basically, it's an accident waiting to happen. I was also shown an example of someone asking a question where it had already been answered in text or the person had just covered it, but there was no active listening. So it made the speaker, the other person, frustrated because they're like, I just talked about that. You weren't listening. And then speaking over someone else. And I'm sure many of you have had that experience where you're trying to say what you want and someone interrupts. And you're like, if I could just get this out, this would be clear. So Seven of Cups is perfect because it's, as much as it can be daydreaming and research and development, it can also be confusion. And this confusion that I was being shown in like 3 different stages, like if it's on different stages, could be avoided. These are 3 different scenarios. Not all of you are going to feel this, but what I'm basically seeing here is that if we look at the second to last bullet, it really covers everything. Slow down, listen, move with intention, and listen more than you talk, actually. And then you can always say, I think I heard this. Was that correct? Or you said this before, now you're saying this. What should we be focusing on today? Just clarification and showing like I heard you, or maybe even keeping someone accountable and saying, is this still the main focus? You're not pointing fingers, you're just asking questions. Questions are a great way to bring things down to reality sometimes. And if you're not clear, don't move forward. Because just like that cricket can show great leaps forward, it can also show you just kind of moving in the wrong direction really quickly. So we want to move with intention, which has been something that almost all of the April readings, all 2 of them so far, have been showing. So let's definitely keep into that energy as we're looking at things. Okay, so these are avoidable. That's why I bring it up during the weekly collective. It gives us, every day we get a chance to sort of course correct as needed. Okay, we can plan everything that we want to. You can sit down and until the cows come home, create all these plans and charts and everything that you want. But then a lot of times when you show up for the event, for the heart-to-heart conversation, someone will throw you a curveball. A lot of times they may already know what you want to talk about and they just cut to the chase. Sometimes there's new information that you didn't know about. And so the planning can still help, but you can't adhere to a plan blindly. When life throws you a curveball here, catch it, don't duck, or don't try to catch a ball that wasn't thrown. I don't play sports, but that was the metaphor that I wanted to use. There was another sports metaphor for whatever reason, which I think was Wayne Gretzky, but you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So if something's presented to you and it's inconvenient or it wasn't expected, but it's the right time, you have to kind of move with it, even if it doesn't fit into your plan. So planning is meant for preparation, but you have to make real-time adjustments. And that's one of the things here that I saw frustration with. I chose the 4 of Cups here because sometimes there's a hidden blessing. The universe is like, yes, 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 we know that you want this, but this might serve you your highest good, or how you're forgetting about this. So listening, tuning in, really slowing it down a little bit so that when you take that leap, it's both intentional, empowered, and appropriate. That's what's really important here. And then once you know what you want to do, go for it. But there's something about like, I didn't plan for this, or this is unexpected. No matter how intuitive or tuned in you are, there's still going to be people using free will and surprising you from time to time. So just go with it, okay? Good leaders know how to react in real time. And that's one of the things that'll be put to the test this week. And all of that being said, I am still a fan of preparation, particularly when it comes to talking to someone and showing them that you understand their point of view, that you've given this some thought, that you're invested. I think the key things here are keep it succinct, keep it clear, be prepared, and give them a chance to talk and listen. I think if you can do all of that this week, that's key. But yes, the most important one, and the one that kind of woke me up here in the morning, was this feeling of distraction due to emotion. Emotion can either push us forward or it can block. And I felt like it was blocking like the perception of the environment while driving, the ability to hear because things were going on here, and then not letting someone talk too. All of these things can be frustrating. So communication is going to be something that I definitely want to pay attention to as we take a look at the 7-day forecast. So let's see what the cards have to say. We're going to look at the week going from, from today to next weekend, next Sunday. And let's see what's coming through here. Okay. Here we go. Good to see everybody. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for spending some time with me today. Okay, just a second. Sorry, I'm trying to get to my, there we go. Here we go. This is what I wanted. All right, so we're going to focus on today, Sunday, beginning everything off, and this is going to basically help you. It's a good day to get things done. So if you're busy, if today's a day where you are working or you have a lot of things that you like to plan, the Eight of Wands is fantastic for that. The Eight of Wands typically shows me that when it comes to getting things done, the only thing that you want to be aware of is not getting lost in the shuffle, is sometimes not letting, we talked about the sort of empowered and intentional movement, just making sure that it's not just like going from one thing to another just because you're afraid to slow down. So take time to tune in, take time to take care of yourself. But otherwise, I see this being a really good work day and a great day to catch up on things. And if you're feeling like just relaxing today, this can also be a card for socializing. So if you don't want to stay home, the Eight of Wands is kind of begging you to go out and explore the world a little bit and do something with other people. So it doesn't have to be work. It could just be deciding to, take a walk with some friends, go to the movie, do something that is going to kind of like bring you in that community energy. It's not always seen as a community card, but it is. So either get out in the world, weather permitting and resources permitting, or if you're feeling really kind of productive today, then put the energy into work and you'll be happy that you did. It's going to give you a jump start on the week. And in fact, you're going to start with one of the most empowered cards that we could ask for. On Monday, we have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands showing that what you're seeking starts to come into fruition pretty quickly. The main thing here, as we can see with, a hawk perhaps, is to really sort of, it's call and answer, it's listening as well as kind of putting that energy out there. And I always talk about the Three of Wands being the best when you're being able to kind of like survey all directions, not just one, because sometimes you can miss a ship coming in from the other direction if you're just focusing here. So keeping an open mind, open heart, and really kind of all channels open as well, because we can see more messages incoming. It could be a day where there's just a lot of moving pieces and a lot of conversations that have to be had. But the Three of Wands is fantastic. So the preparation and the homework that you do today definitely empowers Monday and puts you into a really good sort of energy. So a busy Sunday, a productive and a sort of fruitful Monday too, like manifesting definitely coming into play. As we look at Tuesday, this is a day to pull back just a little bit, really tempering fear. And one of the things that we're looking at in the special topic today is fear. And so we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. Nine of Swords is usually not as bad as it seems. So what you may realize is that you were worried about how something may pan out, but that concern was maybe unnecessary or over-exaggerated. Examples of this could include, for instance, that you made a mistake and you have to talk to someone about it. But if you come forward with just honesty and possibly even a solution, and they can see that this wasn't malicious, intentional, etc., they're going to probably be very happy that you were comfortable enough to come to them and that you're doing the responsible thing, etc. Other examples can be if you need to sort of quit a job or break up or say something that you think is really, really difficult, but the person already knew it and they were just waiting for you to say it. These are examples where they're kind of, they sort of like get to the chase. When I quit my job, my boss knew, before I said it. They said basically, you're quitting, aren't you? So I was worried about it, and it was because I was very keen on having a conversation. Even though I was sick, I said we need to talk today, and it was clear. But then it was an easy conversation at that point. But I'd been stressing many, many, many months prior to that. There were several other conversations I had to have, but that was one where I thought it would be worse than it was, and it wasn't. It was actually quite easy and sort of positive at the end. So do the preparation work. Don't get into your head and freak yourself out too much. And ultimately, you have to just sort of like take it one step at a time. Definitely focus on getting enough sleep going into Tuesday, and then also Tuesday going into Wednesday. This card can indicate staying up late, burning the candles at both ends, or losing sleep over something. There comes a point where you've done all you can, sleep is necessary, reset the next day. And let's actually look and see what's coming through as we get to the midweek. So as we go to the middle of the week, Wednesday, we have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles in reverse is saying a couple of things. First of all, when it comes to your own well-being, one of the things that you really want to do is speak up. You have a good chance of getting what you ask for with this card. It is a card of wealth and abundance. And a lot of times, King or Queen of Pentacle people basically have a hard time not giving and not sort of, let me not do this as double negatives. Let's say typically it's maternal, paternal types where you give a lot. And this is a day where you need to ask for what it is that you want. And you can get it because you're not always doing that. There could be someone around you that's very, very comfortable in the receiving end of things. So they're happy to take. And again, what you have to do is either have good limits and say, I can't do any more with that. Or you can also say, I need help with this, or I like it when I'm getting this. Basically, boundaries, communication on progress, limits, and desires, and basically just reining things in a bit. You have the power, you have the potential, you have everything that you need to be able to do that. All right. Moving from Wednesday to Thursday, it's a pretty productive card, I have to say. We covered the two things here that we were gonna, like intuition and fear are kind of in the middle of this week here, but we'll talk more about that. First things first, let's look at Thursday. All right, we have the 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles is basically whatever it is that you're trying to do coming to fruition. There's a lot of support coming in from community and basically friends, family, etc. This can indicate really good things when it comes to business, finances, and resources. So by the latter part of this week, you're actually sitting in a good position with things. I'm looking closely at this. There's also kind of this agricultural vibe to this. So some of you might be finally either capitalizing, or when I think of like the harvest, you're basically reaping the rewards of work that you've been putting the energy into for a while, and finally it's paying off. So I like that. Take a moment or two and extend gratitude to the people that have been with you every step of the journey, and make sure that you are very sort of grateful to yourself for the work that you've done. That's going to help you go even deeper into the potential when it comes to the 10 of Pentacles. As we get to the end of the week here with the High Priestess reversed, you want to trust your intuition. That is what we're going to be focusing on today, so I'll help you with this. But it looks like you might be receiving an intuitive download, and part of the frustration or part of the sort of feeling of uncertainty comes through either disbelief in what it is, or for some of you maybe just surprise or a lack of preparation for this sort of intuitive download. And sometimes it can be something like you realize that you really want to date someone, or that you can no longer work in a certain company, or that you're ready to do something which may seem crazy to the world, but it's like, well, I want to, move across to another country or take a job here or whatever it is, like make a big shift in your life. But on a heart and soul level, it feels very grounded and very safe, but it's sort of that expression and that communication of it that could be difficult. So tune in and see if you're just afraid of the reaction, or if you're surprised at what the universe is showing you. But either way, you're getting an intuitive download that's worth listening to. And this is a day where you can channel your energy, be very effective when it comes to any sort of creative endeavors. So it's a good day to put energy into work, manifest, and it's a very convincing card. So if you need to have a conversation and persuade someone in communication or debate, you are in a good space at the end of the week to be persuasive. We see this card, it's kind of unique. It's the only High Priestess that has a little baby on it. So this is the beginning of something big and something new, but it all starts small, and you just have to sort of like nurture whatever this is that you want to really spend time and energy on. Very rarely do we get something that happens in one fell swoop. Usually there's a lot of work and a lot of energy that needs to be put into it. All right, so as we look at the weekend, this is where I really think you're gonna have a very productive week, and I would love for you next weekend to just plan, if you can, a break, a retreat, some time off, take care of yourself, starting with next Saturday. 10 of Swords card in reverse is basically saying that you're putting an end to any sort of cycle that just burns you out. You're paying attention to your body, so if you need to get a massage, some sort of an adjustment or whatever, this is making sure that that's being taken care of. The other thing here, I mentioned in my slides today as I was going through all the channel messages, miscommunication, that's the day that it would probably happen. So almost a week from today, 6 days from today, we see this potential to upset someone by just not tuning in as well as you could. Here's the interesting thing. I did see a very sympathetic, understanding, kind person on the other end. And it would take a lot to kind of push them over. So I think that if you make any efforts on your part to temper communication and listen, it's going to be fine. But they were annoyed at the sort of persistent, there were 2 or 3 things that went off a little bit, and that's where they were like, this needs to stop. So do your best to really be mindful of the other person, and I think that's going to be key. And then as we look at next Sunday, a little bit better, but this is an encouragement to look at all the small details. 8 of Swords, as we can see with the blindfolded person, sometimes indicates hidden details, things that are beneath the surface. And it's reminding you that, again, there is no question that is silly or that you are not entitled to ask. When you don't ask the questions, that's typically when the challenges start to happen. So this is really emboldening you and encouraging you to ask the important questions. If you feel like you're not being listened to, or if you feel like there's a better way to go about something, demonstrative energy could be very helpful here, showing people how and why. Because sometimes people just aren't listening, but if they can see it, then they can kind of wrap their head around it. Let's quickly highlight the week, and then let's go into the next portion of the reading. So we're going to look at power days and challenging days. The power days for the week. Today, you joined on a good day. So Sunday is going to be a very productive day. Monday is a really good day for manifesting, as is Friday. So Sunday, Monday, Friday, some of the best days of the week. When it comes to contracts, money, and exchanging resources, Thursday is great. Good day to, if you need to get paid for something, to call someone up or give them an invoice or something like that. This is a really good day for commerce. Also a great day for meetings. Whether it is friends, family, or colleagues, things go pretty well with the 10 of Pentacles. You feel that sense of togetherness, which I like. Next weekend, I would say the most challenging days would be Tuesday, next Saturday, and next Sunday. These are the days that you want to spend more time introspectively. You really want to prioritize your body when it comes to next Saturday, so exercise or rest or self-care. And then you want to ask questions and meditate, and again, do introspective things on Tuesday and Sunday. And those are the highlights and the lowlights for the week ahead. The middle of the week is good. It's a self-care day. It's one where you can get a lot of work done. You need to find your balance on the midweek point. But otherwise, it's a good week with, again, especially the work week itself is pretty good. So I think you're going to be able to make some good strides this week. Okay, so let's get back into the reading and talk about the next steps here. So we just covered the 7 days. Let's go into the elemental forecast. The elements are, of course, fire, earth, air, and water. And this gives me a chance to drill in a little bit deeper and see what kind of opportunities are coming in the week ahead. We'll be moving through a lot of different decks today. If you have any questions about what they are, you can always go to my website, and Dakota can put a link there. All right, let's bring up the messages for the week ahead. Fire, earth, air, water. This will be the only part of the reading that is specific to signs. Everything else is for everybody that's present. All right, let's begin with fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. This one came through last weekend. Very similar message. And with the page reversed, it's reminding you to look outside of the plan. Things are not always picture perfect. I talked about the developing piece last week. This week, I really want to focus on the fact that when you are envisioning something, I put this in the slide, but I didn't talk about it as much as I will now. When you envision something, it's sometimes limited by your own imagination. So think of it this way. When an unexpected wrinkle or curveball or opportunity presents itself to you, oftentimes it's an upgrade from the universe. It's basically saying, you didn't expect this, but this is like a lotto ticket. if you're willing to get your head outside of the camera and look around at what's going on. Because no matter what lens you have, there are sacrifices. We talked about this. If you do a wide angle, it kind of you have this sort of bowing thing that happens. If you zoom in, you're missing the periphery. Every focal length carries with it trade-offs. So you need to just sort of step back and look around. I really want you to tune into opportunities and environment. It's especially true for the fire signs. What I do love about this is, hello, we've got earth energy here, which is going to help ground your ideas. We have a page which can get what he or she is asking for. And this is a request when it's reversed. It's saying, this is what, it could even be like a realistic request here. So saying, you're asking for this, it's going to require this. Here's my recommendation. And then putting it in that person's lap and letting them decide. So very, very grounded, very specific. And again, if you need something, ask. Twice we've gotten Pentacles reversed, and they're both court cards and they're both empowered. So don't be afraid to speak up, especially Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. At the end of the day, though, this is good for communicating needs, for status updates, and again, to get assistance or resources or money. So I feel like you're going to make some positive strides in those areas and take care of yourself and do something for yourself as well. All right, moving on from my fire signs to Earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Movement. We like the Six of Swords. And what we're seeing here is also moving out of this, so kind of like moving out of the dark and getting into this, this sort of like new start, fresh day. I like this a lot. So what the Six of Swords represents is also release. Releasing yourself from an old way of thinking, sometimes letting go of an old relationship, maybe mourning the loss of someone or something. And it's kind of like this new awakening where maybe it's the first time you felt good in a while or felt clear in a while. And I want you to keep going with that energy because there's a lot of better days ahead here. This is a good week for travel. This is a good week to send a message further than you thought it could be. So marketing opportunities are opening up. You may also receive something from afar. This could again be an unexpected message or opportunity. Travel, release, and communication at great distances. That's all the things that this card comprises. So this is a good week to connect to all of those energies. But it's you're not going to see stagnation with the Six of Swords. You're going to see movement and usually things getting better and clearer, which is part of what we were focusing on today. So it's a good week for Earth signs. All right, moving on from my Earth signs to air, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. For all of you, this is where the emotional intensity was coming through that I was picking up on. So we see the Queen of Cups here. The card was reversed. I like to remind folks, with the Queen in reverse, she's basically saying, I've been taking in a lot. I'm taking on a lot, absorbing a lot, and I need a minute. I need a minute to decompress. I need to let go of some stuff because until I let go of some of this stuff, I'm not going to be able to think and communicate clearly. And, you know, air basically rules communication and cups rules emotions. So this is the nexus that I was seeing. Find a way. This could be a therapist, a counselor, or a friend, or all of the above. But find a way to figure out where you stand on certain issues before you go into a key conversation or decision, or before you get behind the wheel, either literally or figuratively. And then you're going to be good to go. We have to clear out the cup from all of the drama and the trauma and the things that we all kind of take in, especially air signs, because a lot of what you can do is listen, and you might be on the receiving end, because when I see a vision, it can go either way. So maybe you've just had a lot and you need a moment. And so take it this week. There could be incoming love, for sure. Could be a water sign coming into your life. Again, I think it's important to do the clearing because this card was reversed. So make sure that you are ready and prepared to sort of like embrace this new opportunity. Great creative energy for you. I think it's going to be a productive work week and a creative week. Emotionally, it could be a little taxing and trying. So self-care for you is paramount. And that's my messages for air. Let's move on to water, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Pretty darn good week for you. We have the Magician. Yes, he's reversed, but he's still a fantastic energy. It's the beginning of manifestation. It's a connection to source. Most of your intuitive cards today were reversed, so this doesn't surprise me, but it's basically saying focus. The magician sometimes has too many things going on, kind of like a juggler. I love that this magician is kind of in the middle of the flow, the energetic flow. And we're seeing all aces at the beginning here. If you look really closely, we've got the wands, the pentacles, the cups, and the swords there, which I would expect because the magician has all of those tools in front of him. So the important thing is discernment. What do I choose to use today? What do I choose to focus on? What's my intention? The more intentional you are, the more powerful you are. The more you trust yourself, the more powerful you are. And the more you believe, the faster things can manifest. And so all of those things would be what I kind of bring to the table for you today. I do think you're going to have the ability this week to possibly make something happen quicker or in an unexpected way. And the key here, you're the curveball this week. So my water signs, I really want you to pay attention to kind of like trying to catch the curveball or continuing to move with the flow. He is in the flow of energy, and that's the key thing. He's not bothered. He's not freaked out. He's basically just in the flow, and he's seeing certain, it's like the Matrix, right? Once you start to understand that you can, to a degree, work with the energy, then some cool things will start to happen, all right? Let's see what we want to talk about next. I want to get straight into the special topic today, as we have done in the past few weeks. And then as it feels sort of like natural to me, I might expand it. I might look at some other things. This again, when I saw it, I was initially kind of like questioning or confused by why you guys wanted me to cover the difference between this. But I always want to be able to look at topics that are important to you. The more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Because I think when we first start to tune into our intuition, we aren't sure of the source. And so one thing that I can give you just as a little piece of advice is you shouldn't have to overthink intuition. It comes through on a heart level. It comes through on a gut level. It's something that it's beyond question. So when you, there's been moments I'm sure in your life where you have no doubt that you should do something, or you have no doubt that someone is someone that you should avoid or whatever. You're being intuitively guided then. When there's all these sort of questions or there's nerves or things like that, fear takes on a different energy than intuition. Intuition is usually very empowered. Even if there's a warning, you wake up and you think, this is real. That for me, like if I have a dream and I know I need to take care of something, then it's very real to me. It's not a fear-based thing. It's like, oh, okay, I'll talk about this. But let's go ahead and look at the cards here. We're going to start first with kind of tuning into your guides. And I'm going to say, what is your question right now? Or what is when it comes to intuition, what should you be listening to? What's going on intuitively? What's going on to either block or unblock your receptors? So let's look at your intuition, which is a weird sort of question for me to look at. But I'm going to say, show me what's going on with intuition, with the collective that's watching. What are the messages to help them tune in or help them discern? Okay, so let's look at the cards that were pulled here. So we have two cards with emotions actually. So we have Princess or Page of Cups reversed. We have the Three of Swords, and then we have the Four of Pentacles, which very interesting. It's all about the heart, isn't it? Because the Four of Pentacles, typically there's a pentacle that's right over top of the heart. This is about healing the heart, and this is about letting go of emotions. So I think that the very first thing that you can do to discern and understand and differentiate between fear and intuition is practice self-care. So meditation, exercise, going to the doctor, talking to a counselor, spending more time with the people that you love. Many of you are in a healing energy right now, and it takes time to heal. And there is no expiration date on, even when we're looking at the body, but especially when we're looking at the heart. So everything heals at a different pace, but you don't have to do it alone. So the first thing is to figure out what it feels like, what your feelings are. And this is something we don't talk about that much. I think this is, for a lot of you, it's men and women, but a lot of times men are not allowed to talk about their feelings. So it may be hard to understand what the feelings are versus the intuition. But That would be my first thing, is really to give yourself the proper self-care necessary so that you can work through the things that are hurting you, the things that are frustrating you, the things that are angering you, because these are still important emotions. We come into this lifetime to experience it all, folks, not just the joy. Because, we are this etheric being out of our body, and the universe comes to us and basically gives us a chance to ride a roller coaster of emotions and experiences, and that's part of it. So we have to understand the lower frequencies too. Once you do that, then you're going to be able to know if it's your heart or if it's your third eye kind of leading you in that direction. But what I see right now, just from the cards, some of you have been experiencing, have been listening, have been absorbing a lot. There is a little bit of healing to do. And the main thing here is not to limit yourself. So sometimes when we receive that intuitive download, the Four of Pentacles in reverse is about holding on to something that doesn't serve us because it's in front of us, because it's safe, and because if we let it go, we don't know what we might be without it. Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right, let's move on to the next piece here. Let's see. So we just took a look at that. I want to go a little bit deeper here, and I want to see, for many of you, what's comprising fear in your life. So show me what the fear is. Show me what could be coming through that is creating this feeling of not being able to listen, not being able to tune in. So what are you afraid of? Some of you are afraid of success. And some of you are afraid of what the next big thing might look like in your life or how to move on. The world is expansion. And it's not what I expected when I asked the question. I didn't get like the devil. I didn't get the Ten of Swords. I didn't get the Tower. I actually got a good card. How many of you out there feel that sense of it's visibility, it's expansion, and it's moving into something unknown, like the first day of school, the first day of being married, the first day of being alone after someone is gone. It's that sense of newness. And I think we can all relate to that. So let's look at newness in our life and being afraid of something new. What's the first step you can do energetically in this moment to overcome this fear of newness? Planning. We talked about that earlier. So the Two of Wands is about starting to dream, starting to explore, starting to question, right? I love that this is almost like chopsticks, where this person's going to sample and try different things. So give it a shot, give it a taste, give it a try. You might surprise yourself. But this is about being able to create some intentional movement in your life, not just throwing the kitchen sink at stuff. This is the world. These are the two wands. This is the world. So we take where we're at, where we want to go, and we find ourselves squarely in between that. And we start to figure out what the path between the two looks like. So a little bit of planning, a little bit of dreaming. What's the next necessary piece? You've done the planning. You're starting to make peace with there's this new thing on the horizon. What's the next thing that you can do? You don't have to do it alone. And this is something that I've been saying. These are beautiful energy, beautiful cards here. So this is accepting, I need to expand. I need to do something new. Maybe I'll do it this way. I really trust this person. Four of Wands is a friend or friends or family that you can kind of bring in and say, what do you think about this? I love how the energy sort of connects all of these people together into one focus point. This person or small group of people can really help you take a broad idea and bring it into focus. So you don't have to necessarily be the lens or focus the lens all on your own. You can have someone help you focus the lens a little bit. All right, and what is all of this for? Why are we seeing the energy of expansion coming through for all of you right now? And why am I looking at that? So past, present, and future, help me understand why you need to expand in this moment and what those blocks and opportunities might be around the expansion. Okay, so the reason that you're being asked to expand is where you've been has been potentially a little bit too limiting for you. So we have the Emperor card. He's kind of trapped in a box. And if he kind of recreates this in the right way, it could be more of a tesseract than this box. But Right now, he's stuck in a box and he wants to get out. So parents, friends, you might have kept thinking, I have to be this, I have to do this. This is the only way for this to happen. And the universe is coming through and it's saying, no, think bigger. Think outside of the box, literally, these two cards combined. And so this card reverses getting the glass ceiling and breaking through it and liberating yourself from this. So this is cutting the cords of family, cutting the cords of your own unrealistic expectations, and really allowing to redefine the limits. And to quote that Mean Girls, that one-liner, there is no limit, right? Sometimes there is no limit. And in the book that I wrote a couple years ago, there was a character that basically was Elijah and then this angel of death. And the angel of death came through and just basically to this old wise man said, you try to put everything in a box, but it doesn't fit in a box. The universe isn't that neatly defined. As much as we love science and mathematics, they are evolving, emerging fields that continue to change as we start to understand new things about the world. So even what we consider to be facts, they can change overnight when we get new information. So allow yourself to redefine your future, your path. You might be surprised at what's possible once you do that. You are more capable and independent than you give yourself credit for. Nine of Pentacles is a beautiful card of self-sufficiency. It is about taking your time, as many of you know. You have to slow down with the Nine of Pentacles. Typically on this card, there would be a snail. But what we're seeing here is sort of like this radiating energy coming out, one step at a time, building almost like I talk about sometimes if you were to slice open a tree, the rings of a tree. Some of these rings would be small, some are bigger, but ultimately it's brought her to where she is right now. So don't overly define something. There are surprises, even to the most educated people. New opportunities can arise. And then you are going to be on this new sustainable cycle once you start to allow yourself to explore and to expand. Listen to your intuition, take your time, and realize that you're very close to accomplishing a goal or dream. 9, very close to 10. 10 is completion, 10 is expansion, and I think that it's a lot closer at hand than you might imagine. And this is what's holding you back in the future. People may not be able to see what you see. And this is what's frustrating sometimes with being intuitive or plugged in a little bit, because you're able to see it and understand it, but to quantify it, to help someone else be able to basically to articulate it, not always easy. So if others lack vision, that doesn't undervalue your knowing, your path, yourself. So there may be a sort of divergence coming through you and another person on a path. You're going to go in different directions, and that's okay. Not everything is going to be shown to you. Not everything is going to end up the way you thought it would be. So what I like to do instead is leave room for happy surprises. And when you're manifesting, one of the things that you can say is, all of this or greater. All of this or greater than I imagine for my highest good. Make it as positive as you can. That way the universe can come in and say, oh, they're open. Okay, great. Let's give them a little extra here. Let's give them a little bit of a lift here. We're meant to see a lot, but not everything. It's like a movie or a book. You don't want to know the last page of the book. You don't want to know the climactic point of a movie before you have a chance of getting to that. You need to sort of like work your way to it. Otherwise, it's not as fun, right? And I'm sure you've seen people say, I wish I could hear this for the first time, see this for the first time, taste this for the first time. We're meant to have some element of surprise. That's what's cool, like when someone walks into the room and your heart skips a beat. If you knew you might have had a premonition that someone was going to be coming into your life, but you didn't know that they were going to do it while you were at the grocery store or whatever, however they're going to meet up with you. So it's kind of fun to have these happy surprises. Stay open to that. There's enough things in life that are all written out. This is why, for whatever reason, the universe kind of wants you to go a little bit off script. And as scary as that can be, it can also be invigorating too. All right. So to that end, what can you do to sort of like embrace ambiguity so that fear sometimes comes through when you're afraid of the unknown? So how can you be less afraid of ambiguity or the unknown? And let's pull one overarching card for this one too. Okay, I'm starting to see a pattern here. So for many of you, there's a fear of failure. And so the unknown puts onto the horizon this fear that all of your best laid plans could just kind of go to waste, right? That, you know, you don't have the wisdom or the foresight to kind of see this through, but you do. Change is scary, change is unknown, and the unknown is unknown, but exactly what I said at the beginning holds true here. If you don't try, you're guaranteed that it's not going to work. If you try, you have at least a 50-50 chance of something happening. So why not give it a shot? This is really the universe saying you only fail if you don't try. I define failure differently than some. It's not like just not accomplishing your goals. Failure happens when you learn nothing or you don't apply your learnings to the next experience. As long as you're learning and growing, you're not failing. You're expanding just in a way that other people may not like, or it could be a little bit more challenging. But failure is only explicitly not trying or not applying learnings. That would constitute a failure, but otherwise, no. As long as you're moving forward at any pace, you are not failing. Progress may not be what you want, but it's not a failure per se. Nine of Swords in reverse. Again, fear of the unknown and building something up to be something that it's not. Here's where you can start to experience success. This is how you can become more comfortable with the unknown. As we've seen in every future state, it's not a lonely state. So we had the Four of Wands before, which can be a key partnership. Six of Cups, best friends, brother, sister, old karmic relationship, someone from the past, someone who gets what you're doing, someone who wants to play and have fun with whatever it is that you want to do. So finding the kindred spirit, you don't have to do this alone. And then being a little bit pickier with maybe how much you're spending time and energy on certain things. You can also put one foot in the water. You don't have to, invest everything in whatever this change or opportunity is. This is saying, all right, well, let's try a little of this. Let's see how that works. Let's see how I like it. It's taking a taste, like the chopsticks that we saw earlier. This one is saying, all right, maybe I'll keep 60% of this predictable stuff, and I'm just going to dip my foot in the pool here with this 40% of whatever it is that you're doing. So it's measured risk, and I can get behind that because that will help you feel like I still have a safety net. I still have something predictable. But you might be surprised at the progress, the support, and the energy that you get from that 40%, and then you may flip the tables, flip the script, okay? So that's what I'm seeing on that. Let's expand this forecast for a second, and then we'll pivot back into the sort of free flow. I'm going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny and see what the messages are with respect to this big question. And I think that the main thing here is identifying opportunity and identifying intuition. Because if you can identify that, then you can also understand where the emotional component is. So let's look at that and see if that helps. So we're going to now go into an expanded version where we're looking at health, wealth, love, and destiny. I'll be pulling single cards to explore this portion. Health is going to be mind, body, and spirit. And this is going to help us basically clear out the energy of our bodies, because our bodies are that initial sort of filter that allows energy to come in. So we have a polar bear or mystic. It says, know that challenges make you stronger. Have faith when you face adversity. Take time to rest, dream, and renew your strength. So this piece already is very closely connected to what we talked about, sleep and rest. I think a lot of times we end up just running ourselves into the ground when it comes to all of our responsibilities. So Really taking time to rest is key. And then embracing the psychic abilities. I want to talk about that one as well. Because we're still in a time on this planet where it is not necessarily respected or understood when you talk about intuitive gifts and abilities. So figuring out how and when to sort of like embrace that is going to be important. One thing that I would say is you don't have to talk about it nonstop. You don't have to tell everybody everything. Intuition is a tool and it's a gift, and you can decide how and when to basically use it. Everybody has this, and it's something in the future when I'm doing my podcast that I'll talk about, but we all access it differently. A doctor uses it in diagnosis. An artist uses it in channeling creative ideas. Scientists have epiphanies and pull connections together of, different research, things that they might be working on. We all kind of see these threads that come together, and they may not call it intuition, but they're using something that it was like a spark, right? So just let it be. Don't overanalyze it so much. That's why even when you guys were asking me to do this, I'm like, the fact that we're doing this is almost counter to the way intuition works. It doesn't actually follow a mathematical equation, to be honest with you. Intuition flows, and when you're in the flow, but it's kind of hard to quantify how exactly the connection happened. Surrender is a big piece of this. But anyway, so we have the polar bear. When I look at a bear, I also see hibernation or a lack of activity. We're coming into the spring here, so this is an awakening. So my question would be, how can you wake up? Wake up your intuition, wake up your body, and be aware, because that's really what this is about. So we have the Empress card, which is taking care of yourself, especially with this card in reverse. But it can typically be one where you've spent a lot of time nurturing everyone else. You may have spent a lot of time stationary, and this is saying get moving, get connected to the earth, and do things to take care of yourself. It's a beautiful Empress card too, isn't it? So I would love for you to do something specifically growth-oriented. This could be an opportunity to go back to school, night school, take a class, do something online. It doesn't matter. Just to sort of like expand your horizons. That's ultimately how I got into what I'm doing. I had a regular day job. And a couple of years before I was ready to quit, I started to do other things, including like learning to read cards, getting certified to teach yoga, trying meditation groups to see what kind of meditation worked for me, and all these sort of different things, working with different energies like Reiki and all of that. So I tried a lot of different things, and I did it way before I ever quit my job, because I just knew that there was something more, something lacking from what I was doing. So you don't have to quit a job. You don't have to do anything wild, but you never know where one of these will take you. It was another intuitive friend. When I told her, I said, I'm starting to work with cards. She said, I just got chills. She said, I don't know how this is going to change your life, whatever you're doing right now. I said, really? She said, it's going to change your life. And it did. Just taking a class on an intuitive hunch. So do something for yourself, something small. Everything starts small, and it could kind of change your entire trajectory just because you decided to listen to yourself. That's intuition. I feel like I need to do this. Intuition's empowered. Fear is the antithesis of that. Fear comes in and it takes away your power. So that's another thing that I can help you with. If you feel empowered with your decision, you're connected to intuition. If you feel afraid, if you feel anxiety or a sense of disenfranchised energy, that's more fear. Okay? I hope that helps you. It's the weirdest question for me to look at. I'm trying my best for you because you guys wanted help with it. But it should lift you up. That's what intuition does. It doesn't push you down. Okay, that's the message for health. Let's move on to wealth and career. What's the opportunity now? We've kind of covered this. So what's the opportunity to help you expand, go further than you thought you could go? Oh, wow. Unexpected. Okay. So We'll talk about this. It's a good card. I'm glad that this is just like I pulled the devil today. It's good to kind of get the base emotions out here too. Okay, got it. All right, so success. If you're in the energy of success, let's say parent, brother, friend, boss, somebody in your life just got to the next level, partner as well. I think it's okay initially to feel something. There may be this feeling of how did they get it and not me? Or why are they there and I'm not? And that's really at the core what envy is. It's a comparison. So if you can pivot from the initial energy of feeling envious to then feeling curious, like so the envy is just the initial, they have something that I want. When you can take it to an inquisitive state, curiosity, how did they do it? It's inspiring me. Like, can I do it? This is where empowerment steps in. Envy is just one piece. So it would be better to I like to use this as a comparison energy, but the bottom says, I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Okay, let's restate that. You're not the same as everybody. I take issue with that. What I would say is we all have potential. We all go about accessing the potential differently. So the equity comes in our power. We're all powerful beings. I can get behind that. You're not the same as everybody, but you have equal opportunity to access your source power. We express it differently. We're all in different boxes because of family, career, all the different things that kind of create these issues. But what happens is someone's choices open different doors. Someone's what they were brought into this planet with, their privilege, their choices, their environment. So what you can look at is all those different things and think, what can I control? What can I affect? Because you can't affect privilege, but you can open doors. You can affect your education. You can speak out. You can use different gifts to change things. So once you see what's reachable, what's attainable, then you can decide, how can I do this? What do I want to do this? And it becomes an empowerment, a conversation with yourself. So I would say if someone's successful, pick their brains, research, learn about them, talk to them. Don't be envious, be curious. And then take the curiosity and put it into a plan. And then work on yourself at the end of the day, because that's where the work comes. We have no idea how many lifetimes they work to get where they're at. We have no idea what they're going through in their personal life, in their emotional state, elsewhere. We're only getting one picture. So all you need to do is take someone's success and use it as a starting point, as inspiration, as a point to kind of have a conversation with yourself. I think if you can do that, that's good. Guess what? Sometimes it's not always by the books, it's not always quote unquote fair, but karma uses a different justice system. And over time, again, if people are getting things in the wrong ways, karmically, energetically, they're going to create challenges both in this and future lifetimes for themselves. So we don't need to fix that or judge that. What we want to do is work on creating more equity for ourselves, more empowerment for ourselves. If there's a system that isn't working, maybe fixing the system. That person, they're going to have to walk their own path at the end of the day. So that's what I would say. Empower yourself, ask tough questions, and then make some decisions. It's human. It's okay to have that spark at the immediate reaction is a knee-jerk, or it's almost like a primal thing. And what we have to do is to kind of evolve past that primal urge to just feel it and then understand why we're feeling it and then transmute it like the magician and say, I'm going to use it to inspire myself to be better than I expected, to improve, to reach that or beyond. And that's really what happens when you sort of have a hero as a kid, right? Whether it's a musician, a sports athlete, a scientist. You look at someone and you think, they're so cool. I want to do that. So that's okay. Put it in an aspirational thing, not I want it. I want to do something like that or better in my life through my own energy. That's be aspirational. Don't be jealous. That's kind of what we're looking at there. But it's emotions, and it's something we want to understand. So the King of Cups is in control of his emotions. He feels them, he lets them flow through him, he doesn't judge them, but he decides how to use them. And that's what we were kind of talking about earlier. And so some of you are just feeling an intense emotion, and it's okay. I'm here to help you empower the emotion a little bit. So we're not going to judge envy. It can be a useful tool, but it has to be lifted up out of the lower frequencies. Does that help? I hope it did. All right. And the opportunity is that you can surpass your expectations. Someone came through to help you wake up. I remember reading a book or seeing a movie or something like it was an adaptation, and it inspired me to do the book that I did. And I'm like, now I want to do even better than that. I'm a better writer than I was when I wrote the first one. And you're always inspired, and it's okay to think, I could do this. Then you have to do it. You may find out as you do it, it was harder than you thought, but it's still worth it. So I can do this. That's the piece of the envy or the jealousy that you'll take. Then you're going to leave the judgment, the anger, the resentment away, and then just think, I can do this. Let's do this. And then focus less on them and focus more on you. All right, let's move on to love. What's the message here when it comes to intuition, when it comes to growth, when it comes to feeling things? We're kind of taking this really high level today. Okay, that's good. We like that. Some of you know that it's time to move beyond a current relationship. So we have a card here that says healthy choices. Thanks for guiding me to make healthy choices. We have the Three of Swords in reverse, which is releasing pain or letting go of something that no longer serves you. So many of you are at a point at which you realize that it's just time to move into a different direction and to do something that could basically involve walking away from someone or something. And that's okay. If it serves your highest good, it's worth the initial difficult conversation. I mentioned quitting, divorce, separation, or just deciding this isn't for me. And then the most important thing is to decide what is for you. When you have that empowered sort of separation conversation or deciding to kind of go down a different path, what I would say the important thing here to do is to really decide how and why you want to do it. And then when and if somebody asks you, are you sure, you would say, not only am I sure, but I'm excited about it because of this, this, and this. And I'm telling you because I care about you and I want you to be a part of this new chapter. So when you are mind, body, and spirit ready, that's when you're ready. And that's when nobody's going to hold you back from accomplishing whatever it is that you need to. So this is a period to reclaim power. And in relationships, people either support you or they have like conditions, and what we want unconditional love. So it's time for unconditional love. This Three of Swords is very interesting because if we look at this person kind of has this person tied up here in the vines, and it's getting very close to the Four of Swords, which is stagnation and needing to move on. So if there's no movement or the only movement is friction, kind of like the chirping cricket. I love the cricket, but it can make a lot of noise. You know it's time. So focus on what your heart says. Focus on sharing your new vision with people when you're ready, and this is going to help you out quite a bit. Okay. This is a little bit higher level, and again, maybe next weekend I'll go to the traditional spread, but I felt for this one it was so unusual that I just wanted to go in the intuitive flow. All right, we're going to take a look at destiny. What's it all about? What's the universe want you to look at in this moment in time? I'm curious. Let's see. Love yourself. Be willing and able to receive love, but love starts within. And we see some really good things on the horizon for you here. So this even reminds me of like going back to the beginning, because it almost looks like an egg at the moment of being fertilized. So when we enter into this planet, like when we're conceived at the very beginning, there's no drama, trauma, or anything. We're just potential. And I want you to love yourself like you're that beginning, that single cell. And it's all potential, because every day really is like an ace. So the Ace of Pentacles is, even though this says love, it can be Ace of Cups or Ace of Pentacles, but it's an ace and it's potential. And it's saying today is what you conceive or perceive or project it to be. So I would like you, we're already through most of today, but focusing on tomorrow, I really want you to see the potential in each and every day and see it through the lens of love. I love myself enough to try this. I love and respect myself enough to see that I could potentially do this. You may not receive the love and the potential and the support that you need from others, but if you allow yourself to kind of see what's possible without all of that, you might surprise yourself again at your own potential. Love yourself enough to try something. Know that there could be love coming into your life for those of you that are seeking it. Some of you may have a chance to love again. Okay, now what we see here is when you get in the frequency of love, something I talked about a long time ago, like 2017 or something. I had a reading that I did. But once you put yourself in the frequency of love, we see things happening at a speed that could surprise you. We have the Three of Wands coming through again. And it's basically your ship coming in, which is cool. It could be coming from a different direction. So for some of you, love, partnership, and opportunity happens faster or from a different person or different point of view than you had anticipated. And that was like why we keep getting Eight of Swords, for instance. Like sometimes you can't see exactly how it's going to happen. But be open, love yourself, and be open and receptive to receiving opportunity, again, when it's inconvenient, when it's unexpected, and see where that takes you as well. And yeah, someone put in the chat, like there's potential every day. I believe that for sure. All right. Let me see if there's anything that I've missed. I feel like we've hit on a lot of points here, and I like to try to keep some of these readings a little bit more succinct. But let's see here. I want to see if there's anything. We'll, of course, do a meditation and a final card here in the end, but I'm just going to pull a couple of additional questions here to make sure that we've covered everything. So one thing that I want to do every week, even though we didn't do the full Celtic cross, I want to say for all folks that choose to tune into this forecast for the next 7 days, on a soul level, even going beyond what we talked about here, intuition and fear, what is it that you need to focus on? What's the big message for those of you that decided to show up today that will help you not only in the week ahead, but also maybe even with that intuitive question? Okay, all reversals, let's just turn them upright and talk about how to make the energy a little less subtle. All right, so you're on the right path. The Three of Wands keeps coming up for you, which is very heartening. That's a good card. Again, things could happen faster than expected, and things are happening now. This is in the past. So the first message the universe has for you is, if you allow yourself to just sort of be open, you might see that something that you need is in your environment. It might be a friend of a friend that could help you with something. It's just within reach. It just is something that's kind of gone right under your nose or just in the periphery. You are absolutely encouraged, able, and empowered in this moment to take the reins and take control. The Empress is, yeah, I mean, it's even to me. I don't really read gender, and I don't really like the rank of queen versus king. So when I see queen and king, I would say equal opportunity here. So you have a chance to really be successful at making something happen in your life in this moment. But it does require releasing something. So we have the birthing energy here. Just like this, we're not seeing her pregnant, we see a baby. So the energy's happened, it's happening, it's around you. And so it's recognizing that the portal's already open, you've already got like 1.5 feet through it, and it's about embracing the baby that's here. So something's already underway, something's overdue. The minute you decide to do it, it takes off faster than you thought. And people are really interested in what you have to say, to do, and they're looking for leadership. This is vision and leadership, and again, being able to convey that. So this is a moment where people are really looking up to you and really wanting to understand more about what your story is, what your thoughts are, and you can write. This is sort of like writing your own play and writing your own future. So I want you to rewrite the script a little bit for you, okay? Last time from the cards, is there anything that we can do today to help you see intuition when it comes? A single card. How can you recognize it? Because it's something that's going to move you forward. It's something that's, you may also be blessed with the ability to see it in a dream or see it in a vision and then see it happen pretty fast. The Six of Swords is asking you, of course, to follow up on it. So follow up on your hunch and see if it pans out. This is a great way to fine-tune your intuition, okay? How can you recognize fear when it comes into your life? Because it's something that kind of, you're gonna feel it more on it's gonna be just more emotional. It's not going to move you forward. It's just something that you are going to be stuck in for a little bit. So one thing that I had to deal with a lot last year was grief. Grief is something that just kind of hangs around. It doesn't necessarily move you initially. You have to decide how to move through the energy of grief, but it just hangs around. Love can be the same way. When you're kind of like in love, it permeates everything. So it's something that just hangs around, but it doesn't necessarily define what you're seeing. It's more in the, it's like a color, if I had to kind of define it this way. Emotions color the scene. They don't create the lines of the scene per se. So when it's clear as black and white, when it's very, very crystal clear, that's intuition. When it's just sort of, it's blurring things or it's accentuating things, it's more like, it's like seasoning. That's really what the emotions are. And the difference in waking up, for me, like, people will ask, how can you tell just a regular dream from an intuitive one? I wake up and it's as if I can remember everything. Details are absolutely clear. I usually feel like when I'm reading for you, it's not me. And I have to take all these notes because I was like, I'm at a crime scene. I'm trying to investigate and I have to like write a report. So I'm trying to capture the scene. And then I see things pay off as well. So if you're not getting a payoff from the dream, it's just a dream. If you get this sense of reality and connectedness to it, there's probably a little bit more intuitive energy to it. And you just have to grow your skills with this as well. Practice. It's a spiritual practice, folks. So you have to practice. And at the end of the day, practice makes perfect. I hope this answered your questions. Let me know if it didn't, and we can always look at future questions in future videos. This was an unusual topic, and I knew you guys wanted me to cover it, so I did my best. Because for me, I don't have a problem kind of separating emotions from intuition. They have a different energetic frequency. You have no choice with intuition too. You'll see things you don't want to see. That's another thing that will help you. We're kind of moving into the realm of intuitive development rather than just a reading, but you asked me an intuitive development question. So you have this, sometimes you see things you don't want to see, things you have to see, and they're going to move you in a new direction. So when we were looking at this Six of Swords, right? So you may see someone's true intentions, and it's not fear, especially if it's someone you like. Sometimes I see someone I like and I see something I don't want to see. I'm like, oh, okay, now I know that. And so it's there to help you, to empower you. And that's a difference. You don't necessarily see what you want. You see what you need to see. You don't get to see everything you want to see. You see sometimes what spirit wants to let you see. It's what's going to help you get to the next level in your life. So it's educational. It's lifting you up. It's informative. And if there's anything that doesn't do those things, it's not passing the test, basically. Okay? Let's meditate. And then if we have anything else to look at the end, we'll do that. All right, so as we meditate today, I'd like you to imagine a clear blue sky. Close your eyes if you will. Take a nice deep breath. Let go of any sort of energy that you might be holding on in your mind, body, or spirit. Good. And I'd like you to imagine that you're gazing out at the horizon. There's a beautiful blue sky above you, no clouds in sight. And all you can see is, it's kind of like you can see forever in the sky, right? And as you gaze out at the horizon, there's this beautiful blue ocean. And it's blue meeting blue, just creating this infinity, this energy of infinity. And in this moment, I want you to reconnect with the realization that you are a limitless, infinite, eternal being that is living an existence in a body that is not eternal, that does have a finite end and beginning. But that does not negate or take away from your core source power. So today, imagine that you could reach out towards infinity and that there's this hand from you, your higher self, that reaches out and says, yeah, I'm here. I've always been here. I'm leading you. I'm helping you. Tune in, listen. I'll show you things. I'll help you out. So imagine that this is source energy, highest light, whatever you call God, divinity, or source. You're a part of that. You're co-creating with it. And your highest self is coming through from a beam of light from the sun. And it's saying, I'm going to help you connect. See that beam of light get brighter as I play the singing bowl. Think of a question that you might have for me, and we'll pull that in the final card, and then we'll go from there. Imagine that you could take a look at yourself now as you're connected to the source energy. And it's almost like something from a painting. You could see all of these sort of subtle lines of energy emanating from your body, creating rings and rings and rings, almost like the rings of Saturn, reaching out in all directions, all dimensions. See yourself now as fully able, fully capable of understanding, discerning, and connecting with the source, and being able now to create, co-create new opportunities, new realities in your life as well. Bring yourself back into your body by creating some friction with your hands. Place your hands on your heart. Thank you so much for being a part of today's reading. I'd like you to open your eyes when you're ready and focus on a question, a final question. Then we'll talk about ways to connect and other things that are coming through here. Focus on this question, hold it in your mind. Don't say anything just yet. Let's focus and see what the energy is first. Yeah, it's good. We've got the Three of Pentacles. All right, so the Three of Pentacles, it was reversed, but let's look at the really empowered Three of Pentacles in the upright position. We can see someone connected to source. We can see something coming through. This usually portends good things. It's mastery of a skill or of something that you have desired to create in your life. So completion and mastery is one thing. Recognition, but not necessarily in the time or in the channels that you thought it might come from. So possibly a delay in the recognition, but not a delay in the completion or mastery of what it is that you wanted. And just like a Six of Wands in reverse, it's saying the recognition is the cherry on top. It's not the reason you do something. It's nice to have, but it's not a necessary piece. So delayed recognition, but completion of goals. And in real time, it feels like things are happening right now. We keep getting Three of Wands. Now we got Three of Pentacles. We got that sort of inception-based or conception sort of energy of the Love card. Now we see that this is going to be a good week. Things are coming together. All you have to do is show up, give it your best, and don't second guess yourself, really, as if I had to kind of sum up all the messages that we got. But writing and learning are very much a part of this card. So write it down, and as I said earlier, do something for your own expansion, for your own greater good, for your own purpose, and see where that takes you. I feel like we covered everything that we set out to cover today. This was an unusual topic. It's one I've hesitated on for a while. Like, you may wonder why I didn't include it, because it's a weird topic for the weekend collective. It's part educational, and then it's part reading the energy. So it felt like you guys wanted me to do an educational video today, which is what I did. That's what you chose. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll continue to change up the format every week. And so we'll be trying new things. This is the year of experimentation. And maybe next week I'll put the Celtic cross back in. Maybe I'll take some pieces out. We're going to have fun. It's going to be good. It'll keep it interesting. I listened to your feedback, so thank you. All right, if you enjoyed this, do me a favor. The first time I've asked today, like, subscribe, and share it if you enjoyed it with someone that you like. We're only 4,000 away from a milestone. I'll do a Q&A when we get it. Join me on social media so that you can keep track of recaps and news and information. Also, if you like to give back, you can do it here in real time or later through super stickers, super chat, and also the thanks button. Keep an eye out. There are multiple imposters on all social media platforms right now. There are at least 2 on YouTube, and I'm working with YouTube to try to get those taken down. But I'm never going to put something in comments, especially when there's all these weird characters and my name is spelled wrong and all that jazz. And you click through and there's like 1 subscriber. So be smart about it. I don't do anything in comments or direct messages that's asking for services or products or offering a reading or a lottery winning or anything. Ignore that, folks. I have to keep saying that with every reading so that you know that it's not me. All right. All of that being said, I'd like to give you a couple moments just to say thanks. Thanks for showing up today. Thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for giving me the topic today that you wanted me to cover. I hope I did it well and kind of answered your questions. All right. So let's take a quick moment here just to thank the members that were joining today or rejoining. I want to say thanks to Elizabeth, Shweta, I think it is, Raven, Laura, and the Good Bro. Some of you are new, some of you rejoined. Thank you either way. It's good to have you as a part of this community. And for those that gave back with super sticker or super chat, I just want to say a quick thank you. And then I have a quick programming note regarding this week, because Monday's schedule is going to be delayed. I'll be doing it on Tuesday. But thank you to the following folks that gave back with stickers. Wendy, Lori, Divinely Feminine, Dana C, Tahoe, Sonette, Beth, Yoga Rising, Robin, Aphrodite, PMT, Lachey, S. Renecki, Lucy, Just Me, Audrey, Renita, Jeannie, Michelle Dupuy, Allison, Halo, Arizu, Lucy, Sophie, Carmen, Eileen. I can't pronounce this one because it's in a foreign character, so I can't see that one. And then Mermaid. Thank you so much. I just want to say thanks to those that gave any amount today. It all helps. I've been continuing to kind of upgrade all of my equipment and all of my cards here, so thank you for making that possible. It means a lot, especially for those that gave a little bit more. I do appreciate that, and I do see that, but I know that everybody can give different amounts, so thanks a lot, folks. Before we wrap up today, a couple of programming notes. I will be live on Tuesday today instead of Monday. I'm taking tomorrow off because I have to do taxes. I'm a human being like all the rest of us, and I have to do some taxes tomorrow. So I'll be back on Tuesday in the afternoon because I have a meeting. Then it's my normal schedule, Thursday, Friday, and next Sunday. So keep an eye, put all of them up for the next week so you can set reminders so you don't miss anything. So you'll see that under upcoming live streams. All right, thank you to Dakota for help with all of the moderation today. And again, I hope you enjoyed the special topic and I did it justice. All right, everyone, have a good day. Lots of love and light. I'll see you again next week and next weekend as well. Bye, everyone.